New neighborhood, and they were like, well, what's this guy doing moving here in East Hampton? I said, everybody, come on over to the house so y'all get to know me. You ain't got nothing to be afraid of.
Kids have like an hour left because this thing turns into something that when y'all get older, y'all don't want to come to.
Remember those glossy Hamptons all-white parties where Puff Daddy promised the hottest night of the summer? Fast forward, the same man now wakes up to fluorescent buzz inside Brooklyn's Metropolitan Detention Center. Federal agents say those moonlit bashes masked a 20-year criminal pipeline, shuttling cash, cameras, and terrified guests through something he privately called a freak-off. Tonight, I will walk you through the raids, the charges, the silent celebrities, and the hard drives that could rewrite hip-hop history. Stick around, because once those tapes roll, the volume never turns back down.
Hey Cassie, how are you? How do you feel about all the allegations with Diddy going on right now? Do you feel justice is being served right now?
And just a day after word of a settlement.
The lawsuit was settled with no admission of wrongdoing.
New civil lawsuits. A series of new civil lawsuits facing new lawsuits from 6 accusers.
Diddy's Hamptons mantra was simple. Kids out by sunset, grown folks stay. The internet ate it up until ex-girlfriend Cassie Ventura dropped a civil lawsuit in 2023, describing those after hours as anything but chic. Her allegations of control, violence, and forced performances settled in 24 hours, no admission, sealed payout. But that quick signature rang like a dinner bell for prosecutors. Within weeks, 6 more civil suits flooded federal inboxes. Suddenly, the champagne spray photos looked like crime scene stills, and the government started mapping a timeline that stretches back to the late 90s. Cassie had cracked the velvet rope, the feds slipped right through. Next question, what secrets were hiding behind those mansion doors?
And now we're learning more details about the raid that went down here at Diddy's 17,000 square foot, $61.5 million mansion. Prosecutors revealed they actually found 6 guns in his California and Florida mansions and alleged that Combs had repeatedly contacted victims and witnesses in the months leading up to his arrest on sex trafficking and racketeering charges.
Dawn March. Miami's Star Island usually hears gulls and yacht engines. Instead, Homeland Security and tactical gear, twin warrants for Florida and LA, agents carted out phones, surveillance servers, bondage gear, 6 unregistered firearms, plus what one insider called baby oil party kits. Everything funneled into evidence lockers. Why so many electronics? Prosecutors say Combs filmed nearly everything. Intimate acts, cash handoffs, even cleanup crews swapping IV bags to keep bodies upright. Investigators now sift terabytes of footage looking for the moment indulgence crosses into trafficking. Each deleted clip they recover is one less alibi in court. And those clips feed directly into the government's centerpiece, a RICO indictment. The indictment reads like a nightclub menu turned horror novel. Racketeering conspiracy, sex trafficking, prostitution facilitation. Prosecutors claim Combs assembled a vertical supply chain. Talent scouts lured hopeful singers, security enforced silence. House managers pre-stocked rooms with wipes, narcotics, and towels. Guests surrendered phones at the door. Only Diddy's cameras kept rolling. Victims described freak-offs that started with champagne toasts and ended with IV drips and bruises. If jurors agree those events were forced or coercive, the guidelines stack into a life sentence. Defense calls the indictment government overreach into consensual kink. But the RICO net only needs one proven act to drag the whole empire under. So, how do they plan to shake the net loose?
There's not the slightest inkling, according to the interviews that I've done, of anything that's coercive, non-consensual, and it was adults and consensual, and everybody who was there
Combs can be seen grabbing Ventura and throwing her to the ground.
My behavior on that video is inexcusable. I was disgusted then when I did it, I'm disgusted now.
Combs' attorneys are betting on 2 words: everybody benefited. They'll showcase text threads, heart emojis, jet emoji invites, shopping spree receipts, to argue the parties were voluntary and lucrative. Expect cross-examinations hitting civil suit payouts and social media brand deals. Did a 7-figure settlement color your memory? Yet, the prosecution has a weapon no emoticon can soften: The 2016 hotel video captured by hallway security showing Diddy kicking and dragging Cassie. He's already apologized publicly. My behavior is inexcusable. But lawyers now say context changes everything. 12 jurors will decide what context means when someone's foot meets someone else's ribs. Before they do, the court must find 12 people who can stomach the evidence.
Combs' trial is scheduled to begin on May 5th with jury selection. Until recently, one of his dorm mates was Sam Bankman-Fried, who was convicted in a crypto fraud scheme involving FTX.
Day one, over 300 New Yorkers file past metal detectors clutching 18-page questionnaires. Do you know the defendant? Have you attended a Combs concert? Can you watch explicit footage without bias? Some giggle, some grimace. The judge wants a panel in 3 days, 12 citizens plus 4 alternates who swear they can hit erase on 2 decades of Diddy headlines. Inside, the artist formerly known as Puff swaps jail beige for a navy suit, nods to his mom in the gallery, and flashes that $1 million grin. It might be the last free smile he ever sells. And all eyes shift to the witnesses who can seal his fate.
Lawsuit filed by R&B singer Cassie.
Cassie describing the music mogul as a vicious, cruel, and controlling man.
True crime news host Anna Garcia.
Stephen, very disturbing are the allegations here that these sex workers or others were drugged to the point where they didn't know what they were doing.
A lot of the people that are involved, it looks like they were professional sex workers. So they knew they were getting into something. They probably knew who they were going to see, and they were going to be well compensated.
What do you think is the best case scenario for him and worst case scenario about what he's facing?
Well, the best case scenario is that he wins, and given what I've seen, that's an uphill battle. And the worst case scenario is that he's going to spend the rest of his life in jail.
Confirmed headliner, Cassie Ventura. She'll narrate that hallway video and describe alleged threats, forced drugs, and nights stocked with paid partners. Alongside her, 3 Jane Does testifying under pseudonyms. Rumors whisper one is a former backup dancer turned chart darling. Another, an ex-assistant with journals timestamping every Freakoff. If even one story survives cross-examination, jurors can connect it to the trove of seized footage. Meanwhile, Hollywood agents refresh burner phones. Prosecutors hint some recordings show cameo appearances by celebrity guests, not necessarily criminal, but reputation exploding. No wonder 0 A-listers have publicly defended their one-time party host. In that, silence is louder than any
Ghislaine
courtroom
Maxwell,
oath.
Jeffrey Epstein's former paramour. We've been in that courthouse for Sam Bankman-Fried, the crypto fraudster, for Bob Menendez, the former United States Senator. All measure of...
Epstein had a contact list. Prosecutors believe Diddy kept a cloud folder. Inside, flight logs, NDA scans, maybe a selfie with your favorite pop idol in the background. Crisis PR firms are on 24-hour retainer, scanning old tabloid spreads, scrubbing hashtags. One leaked group chat read, "If TMZ calls, we were never on Star Island." The absence of celebrity character witnesses could sway jurors. If friends won't vouch, why should strangers? But it also raises the nuclear question. How many careers could detonate if those drives go public? That answer lies beyond the jury's reach, but not beyond ours.
The list, there's a black book. You get that sense that there's some people in Hollywood who are, quaking in their boots right now?
I mean, look, Diddy is one of the biggest names in music, all-time history in the music industry. He's infamous for his parties, Billy. You and I know that. We cover the entertainment industry. His white parties in the Hamptons, which means that nearly every celebrity in the world has been to his homes or has been to his events.
Stop by. It's an invitation to all of America. I'm only joking. No, I wouldn't do that if I was you.
Just because you've been to Diddy's home or been to his parties does not mean that you are complicit in criminal activity. Now, does it mean that we may see celebrities come up on video footage from his home or in photos? All that evidence you would imagine will be presented in court if and when there is a trial. It's that question of everyone knew, but what did they know? And, with Diddy, here's what I have pointed out, what I'll say. Not a single celebrity has come out to defend Diddy. Not one.
If the government stitches its timeline, the verdict vaporizes a billion-dollar brand and redraws the map of music royalty. If the defense pokes even one fatal hole, Combs walks, and every accuser relives the nightmare unchecked. Either way, the hard drives exist, and Hollywood will never sleep as soundly again. I will sit in that courtroom every single day, decoding each flinch, each sidebar, each sudden plea deal, because legacies fade, beats stop, but Silicon Memory never forgets. Subscribe, stay scandalous, and remember, the loudest party often hides the darkest room.
Yeah.